Morning. Have you noticed in the garden when the butterflies are flying around, how they seem to just flitter around aimlessly? No purpose, just flying around. And I've sometimes thought, well, what must it have been like to have been a caterpillar sitting on a leaf, munching away, and then going to sleep and then waking up and finding you've got wings? How marvellous. No wonder they just seem to flutter around with no purpose. They might just be enjoying the freedom of being able to fly. However, this flying aimlessly sometimes means, and often means, that they fly anywhere. So they come in their half dozens every day into my conservatory, because it gets very hot in the conservatory when it's sunny, so I leave the door open. And there they are, flapping away, and they can't find their way out. They fly around, whooshing at the windows, whooshing at the ceiling. They never seem to be able to find the door again. And they're not alone. Bees do it, wasps do it, flies do it, and even this morning I found a grasshopper. I do my best to save them. I've got various devices. A glass, catch them in the glass and then put the cardboard underneath. I bought this butterfly net, which doesn't catch butterflies, by the way, but it's very useful when any of these creatures get so tired that they are sort of sleepy. Then I can just shove this next to them and they might just climb on the edge, and then I can slowly move them to the door. Many a time though, they wake up and go, "Ah!" and fly off and bash their heads against the ceiling, and that's it. I talk to them. I say to them, come on, I'm only trying to save you. I'm not trying to hurt you. Don't do that. You'll end up dead and frizzled on the ledge, and I'll just have to sweep you up in the morning. But of course, I can't speak butterfly, bee or wasp language, and they just think, she's big, I'm little, I'm scared. So I imagine sometimes that this has been God's dilemma. He is big, he's so big, he made the whole universe, and we are little. The Bible tells us, from the beginning of time, the Bible tells us God has been trying to have a relationship with us. He's been trying to say that actually he loves us and he wants to help us not to harm ourselves or other people or the planet. And if only you will behave in this way and trust me, I trust God, then all will be well with you. You can fly, you can have life in abundance. But when we read the Bible, we find that time and time again, people have just gone their own way, flapped off, done whatever they wanted to do, and disappointed God, but more importantly, harmed themselves, harmed others, and harmed our world. Eventually, we read in the Bible that God found another solution. In fact, it said he had this in mind right from the beginning of time, and he chose the right time to do it. And what he did was he himself came down in the form of a human, born as a human baby, lived a human life, worked alongside humans, suffered alongside humans, and eventually, like lots of humans, he was tortured and murdered by other humans. Because he was God. So he rose again from the dead and said, now will you trust me? Now will you trust me when I say I love you? Now will you trust me when I say I have the way for you to live your life? Now will you trust me when you're worried? Now will you trust me when all you seem to be doing is bashing your head against the window or the ceiling? It's hard, even so, to trust God, especially when we're worried about things. But when we look at how much he loved us, when we look at what Jesus went through for us, then what choice do we have? If the butterflies trusted me and climbed onto this edge, they would be saved. Those that don't, or that I don't see, they end up like this one, dead. God promises us eternal life. Life after we've died physically, but life now. A life where we can enjoy all the wonders of this world, free from the worry of life. He says, "Come to me, you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." He's promised that he understands how we feel and will never, ever leave us. Sometimes when you ask people what it is they are afraid of most in life, it is that sense of isolation, of being on their own, of having no one to trust. We never have to face that if we will but trust God. God now with a face and a voice in Jesus. I want to finish this morning by saying some prayers, and I've found a wonderful hymn in the hymn book which we can make as a prayer, so will you join with me? O Lord, all the world belongs to you, and you are always making all things new. What is wrong you forgive, and the new life you give is what's turning the world upside down. The world's only loving to its friends, but you have brought us love that never ends, loving enemies too, and this loving with you is what's turning the world upside down. This world lives divided and apart. You drew us all together, and we start in your body to see that in fellowship we can be turning the world upside down. The world wants the wealth to live in state, but you show us a new way to be great. Like a servant you came, and if we do the same, we'll be turning the world upside down. O Lord, all the world belongs to you, and you are always new, making all things new. Send your Spirit in your church whom you call to be turning the world upside down. May God bless you, and may your world be turned upside down as you find that you can step out and trust in our great and wonderful God who loves you, who loves me, who loves all the world. Amen.